Right, good morning everyone and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan. Now recently we've had a few crazy stories from a guy who sent 70,000 English pounds to a Thai girl who is with another foreign guy and been with him for a long time, and they've got a resort, etc. together, and the guy knows all about it. Very, very crazy. We've got another guy who has literally come to Thailand for the first time. He's fallen for a bar girl and wants to know if he's found the diamond in the rough and if she is truly different, which is just a disaster in the making. And recently, the most craziest story I think that I've read out this year is about a guy. I posted the video yesterday. It's about a guy who trusted his girlfriend, his Thai girlfriend that he'd been with for 1 year, with a 2.5 million baht house that he put in her name, and it ended up going all wrong and he lost the house. And he wanted to share the story, not to show how stupid and naive he was and get bashed by people in the comments, but to basically show how easily it is to be manipulated and to believe in the woman and trust them with such a large amount of money. And unfortunately, this woman was apparently in a lot of debt and he lost the 2.5 million baht house. Guys, every day, as you can see from the stories that are on this channel, guys are getting involved with the wrong types of Thai women and they're paying for it dearly, not just with losing large amounts of money, but also their mental health and well-being. It can really affect a guy, affect his future, affect his trust with other women, and guys can become extremely bitter. And a lot of it, yeah, is down to their own foolish mistakes and them trusting and believing in their new girlfriend. And it just doesn't end well. Now, the whole idea of this channel is to try to create as much awareness as possible so you don't end up as another statistic and you don't end up sending someone like me your horror story. Now, I know that it's not going to save lots and lots of people sharing these stories, but it does save some. Some do listen, and it's mainly the guys that are currently living their own story right here and right now, and they listen to a story on this channel which is similar to what they're currently going through, and finally they wake up, smell the coffee, and they do something about it. Now, we've got a long-term subscriber called Jonathan. He shared a few stories and a bit of advice in the past. I like the way that he thinks, and I think he does have some good advice. So I think it's about time to share some decent advice on the channel, get a little bit of a debate going down in the comment section in hope that this video saves some people from making the same mistakes as so many foreign men that have come halfway around the world to live their paradise, and it's ended up being absolute hell for them. And I don't want that to happen to you. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Hi Dan, it's been a while since I emailed, but I wanted to say some things that were way too wordy for the comment section. I just watched your latest video and something dawned on me that I couldn't believe I hadn't previously considered. This work you do in highlighting the pitfalls of Thai-Western relationships is absolutely going to be an ongoing thing that changes and develops over a long period of time. There's no quick fix, and I guess all you can do is repeat people's experiences on your channel in the hope that people learn and benefit from it. You can give all the advice in the world based on real world experience and pass on the same from your other viewers and subscribers, but it will only be absorbed in any meaningful way by those truly listening and discarded by those who choose not to. The key takeaway in my view is that people need to exercise a high degree of caution and skepticism when entering one of these relationships, or any relationship for that matter. While I know it's easy to mark people as simple or gullible, quite often it's a case of the men being optimistic, hopeful, positive people. And while hope springs eternal, there's often some desperation intertwined that increases their vulnerability. Sadly, this outlook often transfers into them being duped both emotionally and financially, and their good nature being exploited. Now, you could have a whole discussion about whether this is because of Western versus Thai culture, etc. But the why is far less relevant than the potential messy outcomes that we've all seen firsthand, and how to provide people with the tools to prevent them. At the end of the day, what we view as a hard-working guy getting rinsed may well be viewed by others as she did nothing wrong, or the guy should have known better. Again, a difference in cultural beliefs, norms, is one of many explanations for this. What viewers of your channel can benefit from the most, in my view, is learning to be honest with themselves regarding what are commonly termed red flags. They obviously differ from person to person and relationship to relationship, but there are some common ones that are obvious, and choosing to ignore them goes back to that optimism I mentioned earlier, which can potentially result in perilous consequences. Now, in my quite extensive experience, Thai girls aren't very good liars, even the ones who've done a lot of it over a long period of time. Usually, if the lie works for them once, it is job done in their mind, and so they don't need to adjust. They're so bad at it that often getting away with it depends on the guy wanting to believe it. If, however, you do take a second glance, apply logic and common sense, and it still doesn't look or sound right, it probably isn't. My method used to be to catch the person in a lie and then expose it, which can cause shame and embarrassment, which, whether it's deserved or not, can be one of the worst things to do to a Thai person. They'll feel that they've lost face and create other lies to try and conceal the original one. Then they clam up and tell you nothing at all, which is probably worse. Then you get the silent treatment and are subsequently blamed for everything that goes wrong, from bad weather to the poor TV reception. Welcome to Thailand. Whilst this saving face concept on the surface appears odd to a Westerner, it's paramount for a Thai. Even if a Thai is involved in a traffic accident and is at fault, they will feel low enough without people getting out of cars and yelling at them, causing an even greater loss of face. What I do now if I suspect deception or dishonesty from a girl is confirm the falsehood through asking other questions surrounding it without seeming to disbelieve the lie itself. And then what I tend to find is that where there's smoke, there is fire, and there's likely an entire web of lies. The concept to me is to pull one thread and watch the whole thing come unstitched. Again, this only works if the guy is open to the idea that she may be in some way deceiving him. I know many guys who just say things like happy wife, happy life, and just move on, even if it means turning over their bank account and everything else in the process. Now this isn't me, as trust goes a long way. You wouldn't maintain a friendship of any kind if there was zero trust. So why would you maintain an interdependent relationship with somebody when there isn't any? I just want to make clear that I'm obviously not talking about normal Thai girls here, but rather the ones looking to get ahead by insidious means and with ulterior motives or hidden agendas. Be them bar girls or anything resembling a bar girl, such as freelancers, quote, unquote, tour guides, or anyone offering something purely transactional. As I said above, you must be at least open to the idea of looking for these red flags to spot them, and more often than not, they are hiding in plain sight. Now, unfortunately, what this means is having one's guard up, and that can be very tiring. I understand that most people have no interest in constantly thinking like a detective in order to get by on a daily basis, which I totally understand. Quite often though, you don't need to. You just need to be paying attention and looking for the absence of the normal and the presence of the abnormal. And any irregularities quickly appear on their own. Now, I am not suggesting for a second that you should be screening a person's phone messages or social media looking for signs of dishonesty or infidelity, or clandestinely following them around all day. You just need to follow up on any genuine suspicions you may have without obsessing over them or conversely dismissing them because you're afraid of learning where they might lead. Now, if this sounds like too much work to you, I would personally avoid that scene altogether, as you're likely going to come off second best. This is another reason why, for better or worse, so many Western men opt to just interact with Thai women on a physical basis and try not to become emotionally involved. And while it may appear cold or vacant on the surface, it is because these men choose to put their sanity, peace of mind, and financial survival above their yearning for companionship. Now, the takeaway is this. It all depends on which way you're geared. My advice is, if you're just an honest guy looking for an honest girl, Thailand perhaps isn't the best place for you to start your search. If, on the other hand, you want to dive into the deep end with no goggles, subscribe to Thai Talk with Dan and other channels like it to arm yourself for what potentially lies ahead. Thailand is littered with men who've been chewed up and spat out by these girls and their unscrupulous families, not to mention the number of Western guys who've gone there to give it a go only to go home broke with their tails between their legs shortly after. Thanks, Dan, and all the best. Regards, John. Right guys, so what do you think about what John has to say? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Can you elaborate on what he's saying? I think it's healthy for guys to have a little bit of a debate, share their own wisdom from the experience that guys have had over here in Thailand. And if anybody can help answer the question that people, many guys, are longing for, which is how to find a good Thai woman that's not just out to rinse you dry. That is what guys really want to know. So put your comments down below. Now for me guys, I have a lot of Thai female friends that I've made over the 8 years that I've been here, and they're great as friends. I've never had any issues. The issues always come into play when you get into a relationship. There seems to be a switch that is flicked, and things always seem to change where you tend to be looked at as money. And I think what a major problem is that because so many guys throughout the years that have come to Thailand and got involved with Thai girls, where they've been so easy to give monthly salaries, to buy gold, to buy cars and motorbikes and houses and land, and they've been extremely naive and gullible, you know, I think that has bred a lot of Thai women that are within the foreign circles, normally within the tourist places, to look at you as that type of guy, for them to expect that you are going to give them all those things that other women have had in the past and friends have had in the past, etc. And it makes it very difficult to have any type of normal relationship here in Thailand. I feel like you have to be extremely streetwise, extremely switched on, have a lot of experience with women, understand the psyche as best as you can, understand Thai women as best as you can, and also be able to speak some of the language. I think that really does help in a big way. But guys, let us know what you think down below in the comment section. I just think with the last few stories that we've shared, I think guys need some decent advice, need to understand how to play the game, so to speak, and need to understand how to find a good Thai woman here in Thailand, because so many guys every day are coming here to retire and they're looking for a Thai woman to have as a wife or a partner here in Thailand and live out their retirement and the rest of the years. So it is an important subject, especially with all the horror stories that are going on. I just don't think they're ever going to stop. But if we can help save some people, it's better than saving no people. And at least we're doing something good on the channel. Right guys, if you've got your own story or your own piece of advice and you want to share it on the channel, then please feel free to get your emails sent in to thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com, as I am going to be extremely busy now with my new routine, as I'm coming out every day now and making videos and sharing them with all of you. This morning I messed up. I woke up very early, got up, started running my son's bath ready for school and getting organised, etc. And then I realised it's Saturday and nobody's getting out of bed. So I decided to come out here early and make a video. But I felt like today we needed to have a bit of discussion in the comment section and give guys a little bit of advice due to the recent horror stories and potential horror stories that can happen to guys that are getting involved with the wrong types of women here in Thailand. Right guys, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoy your Saturday. Take it easy and ciao for now. Bye bye.